the board. The debt service so is a little bit less, I believe, because there's a different calculation on it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's the same stuff. I mean, we're both in the same boat.
Same,
Just
2.8%.
Different ends of the meter. Or, the water and the sewer.
Different ends of what?
The meter. You know,
Well then, with that, I'm gonna make a motion to adopt the attached resolutions approving the new water and sewer services and.
Rates,
we-
water and sewer rates.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second it as a,
Okay,
if you don't mind.
and this will also be a roll call.
Belkey,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Barzick,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes?
Jones still.
There, yes.
Okay.
Okay, we're done with that. Now we move to item C, the 2025 through 2026 wage allocations for the treasurer and the clerk.
These have to be set before the budget is approved.
Okay.
And
These also reflect a 2.8% increase.
so, council did sit down as we had our budget reviews and went over all of this. So, as Michelle said, it's a 2.8% increase for both. I'll make a motion to establish the compensation for the treasurer of the village of Armada in the amount of $29,689.00 annually effective April 1st, 2025.
Support.
Ross and Shaw. We'll have a roll call on this too, please.
Belkey,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes?
Adair,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Barzick.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
And,
Now we move to the clerk.
do I have to do that? No, I just,
You do what you
just
want.
because it's Michelle.
You do what you want.
To establish, motion to establish the compensation for the clerk of the village of Armada in the amount of $36,083.00 annually effective April 1st, 2025.
Do we have a second?
Support.
Roll call on this too, please.
Belkey,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Barzick,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
whoops, and Clark.
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you for that. Now we move to item D,
Budget.
to set the public hearing to adopt the fiscal year 2025, 2026.
No, not to set the public hearing, this is a public hearing.
This is a public hearing.
Yep,
Do you want me to make the motion? Are you ready?
sure.
Sure.
I'll make a motion to enter the budget public hearing at 7:18 PM.
Support.
Okay.
So this is a time for the public to ask questions or speak. And,
Do you have to have a roll call?
You have to roll call?
Yeah.
oh, I do, sure,
Yes.
sure. Belkey,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Stewart.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm-
Stewart's first, you're second.
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
Barzick.
Yes.
All right. God, I am usually the one that catches that.
Yeah.
Roll, I can't believe I missed that. So this is a time for the public, and then once we close it, it goes to the council table. So does anybody from the public have any questions or wanna say anything?
Good question.
Okay.
Is this moving forward for anyone who's in that position? Or just specifically for the two of you? For the compensation for the treasurer and clerk, is that for anyone in that position moving forward?
No, we had, council had voted a couple years ago, before Joe retired, the starting pay for these jobs is 20, and then it gets raised, after that, and it caps out at 40.
Based on seniority.
Well, yeah.
Longevity,
Well,
Your tenure.
years of
Yeah.
service.
yeah.
I would mention that the council goes through a several-month period of budget reviews, which are open to the public, frankly. We don't get much attendance, and be good in future years to see more people there and potentially ask questions. when there are opportunities to ask about things. So this is all done as an open kimono exercise, nothing behind the scenes, and just would encourage
Would a
community to come in.
would a $60 budget line item be too much for the municipal signs be changed to public parking? I'm just saying $60 you guys are hesitating on. I had somebody come to me on Saturday and they had to park way down and they said, I didn't know where to park. I didn't understand the signs. And we're, what, $60 to $80 to redo some signs? I just don't understand why it's such a burden.
It's not a burden necessarily. I'm waiting to get an example of what the sign might look like to show the council, because we're gonna have to put a decal possibly over it. And then I'm gonna get everyone's input on it, and then we're gonna vote on it and see what everyone decides to do.
Okay.
But I'm still waiting. I contacted Brandon today, and he doesn't have it ready for me, so. Justin, sorry.
I would just say, most of the departments have different budget lines, such as repair and maintenance and so on, so the monies for that type of small stuff usually accommodated in there, so it's just however the commissioner wants to present it to council.
Just another question. Is there a rainy day fund that the village of Armada has? Do you have excess or do you zero out what comes in, goes out and is zero? Do you have a rainy day fund?
We do have,
Yeah.
yes.
We have a savings.
Yes,
Yeah,
we have savings accounts, we have investment
I
accounts.
saw the investments.
Right,
So you are not operating at any, you're okay. The village of Armada is okay, right?
It's fiscally sound.
Yes.
Fiscally sound. Okay. So you really don't need anything, really. You guys are pretty self-sufficient, correct?
Yep.
Okay, just wondering. Thank you.
Sam?
Question?
The rates that you just passed for the millage, how does that differ from the rates that we're currently paying? Can you tell me if they're up or down or?
those are exactly the same,
The
the
same.
ones that they voted on tonight.
Yes.
That can change. We can't get the actual millage rate until May, so it doesn't coincide with our fiscal year, so we have to put through what we think.
It should be very, very close. to
Right.
So
what
we
we
shouldn't expect
voted
any
on.
surprises.
Right, and the only thing that I did increase is the taxable value that goes against. And that came from the township assessor. The rates, she's anticipating a 3.1 increase for next year, or the current year we're gonna be collecting for.
Right.
So that does raise the amount because of the taxable value.
Sure.
But it could go up or down again once we get the appropriate rate in May.
I got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you guys think that you're collecting enough money to pay going forward the bills that you anticipate having, like for the roads and the sewer and the water and that? I mean, I hear that we went up inflation rate on the water, but if you got stuff that's breaking and there's gonna be extra costs, inflation rate probably not gonna cover that.
No, that's,
And that's, so the whole thing that I've talked about over and over again is you have this long-term plan where you looked at your costs going forward and
yeah.
you roughly know that you're gonna need to increase or put towards some sort of a reserve fund every year and then enough money to cover a large expenditure on the water or a large expenditure on the sewer
Yeah,
or a large expenditure on the roads.
it's a great question, and speaking for myself now, not the rest of the council, I mean, there's some huge bills out there potentially, and it would
Yeah.
kill the residents and the businesses if we tried to levy that. So I think you brought up before that we have some money in the general fund, and it's nice to have a chunk of money in there that we're able to do things. For example, water department, I got a loan from the general fund to allow me to finish changing the media in the water treatment plant. So we were able to do that, give the residents a benefit, and then I pay it back. Otherwise, I would have had to do it over several years. And there's reasons why you don't want to do that. So right now, we look to that. We look potentially at bonding and so on, but we got to take the current bond positions into consideration. Would we even get loans given the bonds that are out there? So there's a lot of factors that go into it.
And
would
this
love to-
budget is just for 25, 26.
Yeah,
You know,
no, I
we
got
have-
it, I got it.
We
It's
have
just-
5-year plans for other things, but this budget that we're discussing, that we need to stay on track for,
Yeah.
is just for 25, 26.
Yeah.
Is there a financial planning meeting that takes place? I get that you have the budget meeting and you talk about next year's budget, but do we sit down and talk about the year after that, and what we need to put in the reserve fund going forward, and what that looks like in a tax increase, and
Each
how that's
council,
gonna get through?
Each commissioner.
each council person tonight was given their capital improvement plan and asked them to make changes to it and to add the 4th year back in, because we've moved it forward a year now. So we are in the process of updating that. I wanted us to get through our budget first, and then they will sit down and look at that. We meet and put a plan together for all the departments.
And is that a meeting that
That's
people
meetings
get
with you.
included to?
That's, yeah.
They generally meet with me individually. We go through their plan, we put it all to paper,
Yeah,
and then we have not, I don't believe we voted. It was just kind of included with our budget last year, but this year we separated it out. It's more of a plan, it's not set in stone, we don't, it's more of a planning tool than an actual, this is what we're going to do. Because obviously it has to be fluid, it has to, we have to make changes as things come up. So, it's more of kind of a guideline for us to steer us in the right
Yeah,
direction.
some things are that way, other things are more sure, like
Right.
the roads are going to need to be replaced
Right,
on a regular basis, on a regular time schedule. The water system is going to need to be replaced on a
Right.
regular basis, so that you could say that I'm gonna need 100,000 for that next year, then you 110 the year after that, 120 the year after that. How am I gonna make up that extra 30? I'm gonna have to do that either through cuts or, acquisition of funds somehow.
I'd say
How am I
shrewd
gonna get-
management,
How am I gonna get that done,
Yeah,
right?
It-
Am I gonna move it from one area to the next?
yeah. I think each department looks at that differently, has to operate that differently. I've tried to do that in some cases. I do have a bank account that I keep back for my own emergency purposes in water. Say I lose a well pump or something, I've got cash to be able to go out and take care of that right
So
away.
your own independent reserve
Yeah,
fund.
but it is, I would tell you, it is difficult.
Yeah.
You know, my budget for a year is about $650,000. And I use just about every bit of that doing the operations maintenance and doing the improvements that I can do. So, we have to manage through some of that and be careful about how much money we put away and how many things we defer and whether we do stuff now instead of
Trying to
later.
keep a healthy
So there's a lot of
yes.
calculations that go into it, some of which Ann's talking about here as we prepare our capital improvement plan, so we see what the dollars are we're gonna need in the future. The trick is always, okay, how do we get them?
Yeah.
But it's a great question. I think we're working our way through that now. We don't have any bad answers on it.
Okay, can we move along? Anybody else have any questions? We're gonna exit the public hearing. Do I have a motion? Time.
Motion to, somebody else do it?
Go ahead, you started. I
Motion
started writing.
to exit public hearing at 7:28.
Support.
No, we're on.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, what is next here?
No, we're gonna make the motion for the budget,
Okay,
to adopt the budget.
All right, I make a motion to adopt the fiscal year 2025-2026 budgets for the following funds as presented. So the general fund, and what you're gonna hear is a projected balance at the end of the fiscal year. So general fund, $1,651,923.38. It's projected balance. Municipal street fund, $69,870. Major street fund, $285,028.68. Local street fund, $49,782. Water fund, $70,911.93. Sewer fund, $332,304. Salvage vehicle inspections, $236,086.
We have a motion, do we have a second on that?
I'll support.
Okay. And we will take a roll call on that.
Belkey,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
hold on, I don't have you guys on here.
Yeah, nice.
All right, so Belkey, Stewart, Shaw,
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
and Barzak.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you, everyone, on that. See here, what is next here?
Except for the plan, taking time to consider trustee work increases.
This.
It's the one that I left on the table. You can sign it.
You want me to make the motion, or are we gonna have discussion?
This one?
Yeah,
Okay. We'd like to set a public hearing, time and date to discuss raising the village council's pay from $265 per meeting to $275 per meeting, and the president's pay from $365 per meeting to $375 per meeting, which is a 3.7% increase for council and a 2.8% increase for president. Last change in council pay was in 2024. So, anybody want to make a motion
I'll
on
make a
this?
motion to set a public hearing on the proposed ordinance amending Title I, Chapter 8, Section 8-1 of the Village Code of Ordinances to change the compensation of the village president and trustees for Monday, April 28, 2025 at 7 p.m. and authorize the Armada clerk to publish notice of the public hearing in the record.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
Support.
We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, the next thing is the act resolution to increase and clarify fees for licensing of peddlers and solicitors.
so back in December of 2023, we adopted an ordinance amending the business and trades part of the code. A resolution was also passed that night to set fees for peddler and solicitation licenses. We had a call and it was a little confusing how we had it broken out. So this is just to clarify it, but we are increasing it also. So it's going from 1 to 5 persons was $100, we're asking for $150. The 6 to 10 is $150 to $200, and 10 or more went from $200 to $250. We didn't have it, when we had the 1 to 5 persons, it was asked, somebody called and asked, they're like, well, is it $100 per person? And I thought, well, yeah, that's not real clear, so it's to clarify it. But, we do background checks on everybody that pulls solicitation permits. There is a lot of internal work that goes through with that too, so that's why we're increasing the costs.
So I just wanna know, so like, I know Facebook has a posting about something happening, somebody going around door to door. If somebody comes to the village of Armada, they're supposed to come and pull a permit,
Yes.
solicitation.
Except for politicians are exempt.
Okay,
Kids, selling Girl Scout cookies,
Okay.
that type of stuff. And church groups are
so
also,
all other ones are supposed to come,
yes, if
you
they're
do a
selling a
background
bag,
check.
yeah.
And if somebody, they're supposed to present like maybe a
They have to have,
certificate from the village,
they're told to have the permit on them.
a permit on them. And
Yes.
if they don't, should our residents contact?
Contact the
The
police, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
I've seen it on the township signs that there's different signs that mentions peddlers. We don't have
I think
any
it says the
signage.
word zone community.
Okay, so that covers us.
It does, I mean,
Okay.
we've had to
I mean, somebody could
to
come in
remove
and
people
just.
from the village that are trying to fix your roof or, you know, sell you a vacuum or, you know, just go door to door. It doesn't happen super often, but it does happen. So they're usually told to come up here and pull a permit, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But, you know, we wanna make sure that everybody that's going door to door is safe, you know? So
What does a permit look like?
it's, I don't have a copy of it, it's just a solicitation permit, something that I created.
White piece of paper with
White piece of
gold
paper that
letter
says
and
solicitation
little
permit.
ribbon stamped on the bottom? Or
No, it's not stamped or anything, but it does give the
Costs
dates.
extra money.
It does say solicitation permit on top, it does say the dates that they're to come. You know, we set the times that they can come.
Is
you
it
know.
something I could make at home?
Sure, but I wouldn't expect somebody to do that, but they can always check with me. The police can call me. I know who's in the village, so, or this office.
Just ask.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt a resolution amending and clarifying the fee schedule for peddler and solicitor licenses.
Support.
First and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
What is a peddler versus a solicitor?
I have to look it up.
There's a
One
There
is
is a
selling
difference.
One
goods
is
that they're
selling goods.
bringing to you, and one is selling goods that you order from them.
Okay.
Or,
Services.
when I read it before, it was what, a peddler peddles merchandise,
Mhm.
a solicitation can be
Is taking orders.
taken, or they're not exchanging money, they're not selling something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's all in the ordinance,
Okay.
and it's very, I almost think a little archaic myself, but I mean, that they're still called that, let's put it that way.
That's
'Cause
a good
they're-
explanation. I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah,
Okay, we will move to item G.
MML dues.
Yeah,
They had emailed me like back in January and put it in an email that did not say that it was a bill with the MML membership renewal fees on it. So I missed it. I got an email from them saying, hey, you didn't renew your membership, so I'm bringing it to you now. So it's a little bit late this year. We're okay, we're still covered. It does have the legal defense fund for $139. I highly recommend we stay with the MML. They have been very, very helpful to us in the past, so.
Yeah.
Motion to approve the 2025 membership renewal with the Michigan Municipal League for the period of February 1, 2025 through January 31, 2026 in the amount of $1,533. Is that
Yep,
correct?
1533.
we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, we'll do a roll call on this, we're spending
Yeah.
some money.
Belkey,
Yes.
Sturritt,
Yes.
Adair, Clark,
Yes,
Shaw,
Yes.
Garza.
Yes.
okay. Let's finish up the new business. Do we have any upcoming agenda items that we would like to add now? Yeah,
Can you
signage.
talk about the signs for this
Signage,
meeting?
okay.
I wouldn't commit to that until you get your sample thing.
We can
Yeah.
still talk about it.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping it'll come.
There's nothing to add though, if you don't have what she's
Well, we
going
can
to
talk about
presenting.
whether we even wanna go that route and
Okay.
and some other things, so, okay.
Do we know what the expectation is,
No.
what the sign should say?
Public,
I mean, yeah, I mean, what's the lack of clarity that exists that
municipal.
we're trying to fix?
It says municipal parking.
Yeah.
It's a red sign.
Yeah.
Most
Yeah,
people
I-
don't know that municipal.
I saw them, they suddenly appeared. a few
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
They can talk.
Oh, no, they've been here for a few months.
Yeah, suddenly in this community is a few months.
Oh.
Okay.
So it should say.
Do we have
Public
anything
parking
else
or
from
free public
any
parking.
council members on upcoming agenda
Yeah.
right now?
Okay. So that's been
Okay,
made
so then
clear.
we can move into citizens' comments again. Anybody wants to make comments now or not? If not, okay, we'll move on to council comments. Any council members have any comments? been a long haul going through all the budget things. I'd like to thank everybody and thank Ann and Michelle. So, thank you very much. We can move on to the next year. Any community events anyone knows about?
April 22nd is the
April
community
22nd.
cleanup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second
If you
cleanup.
need any information,
Are
go
you
to,
gonna put-
go to you.
Yeah.
Are you gonna put posters in any of the windows uptown or anything like that?
If I can find somebody local that does like printing stuff, I know Justin said that he doesn't do printing yet, but I wanna make sure that I stick to shopping
Okay.
local. If you guys have any suggestions.
Okay,
I know
well,
it's a
hopefully
little
it'll be,
short of that.
hopefully it'll make the newspaper and that'll help.
Does API do paper?
I think so.
Nice, I'll talk to John.
Find the guy that's gonna print off my solicitation for that.
Perfect.
Easter egg hunt?
Oh yeah, we got the Easter egg hunt on the 10th, the 12th?
12.
The 12th.
Okay. Any other community
At
events
the
that we know
township
of?
park. Yep.
What time?
10.
10 a.m.
What ages?
All of them.
Little ones.
Give me an
Bring
age.
the family.
2
Okay,
to
that's it
10,
for community
whatever.
events. We
Just
do
kidding.
not have a closed session, and I guess I'm looking for a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:41.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
It's really good.
Good.
Thank you, everyone.
Uh-oh, I have to.